Hi, I'm Danny, and today I'm going to be reintroducing myself while reacting to my old introduction video. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Danny. I'm gonna get a couple things out of the way first and foremost.
Wow, my voice sounds so much higher. I didn't even realize that my voice got deeper, but it definitely did, because that doesn't even sound like me anymore.
Yes, I'm a male. I wore my hair down because I can't make it look like my normal hair, so I don't really try.
I still can't, but I do try.
No offense, Ryland. Also, I do not dress like this every time I come out. It's not typical, but I did receive this as a Christmas present, an early Christmas present from the rest of the system. So what better time to wear it than now, in a video. Although it is wrinkly because ironing it would be just a little too much effort for me to put into my appearance for a video. Anyway, now that that's out of the way.
I didn't do anything to my appearance this time other than, like I said, try to make my hair look good. So I'm just wearing a hoodie. I guess, like, we kind of gave up on the whole trying to differentiate ourselves through our clothes thing, just because there's so many of us now. That would be, like, really, really hard to do.
I am a social alter. I'm also probably one of the ones who knows the most, if not the most, about what goes on inside.
I'm still a social alter. I definitely don't know the most about what goes on inside. There are many, many people who know more than me, gatekeepers, namely. There's also, like, some inner self-helpers who probably know more about people's internal struggles and stuff like that than I do. So, yeah, I don't stand by that statement anymore.
Now I know Glitch said that was what she does because she's the inner self-helper, right? I kind of think they just wanted to give her a job.
Wow. I was a bitch.
You know? No, not really. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Mostly. But for real, I am the one who knows a lot, at least. Maybe not as much as Glitch, but I typically know everything that happens inside.
Yeah, our system is so big now that, like, there's no way for even anyone, really, to know everything that happens inside.
I think it's just because I'm gossipy. That's my nature. I typically know what's going on outside before anyone else also, because so maybe I'm not an inner self-helper. Maybe I'm just a gossip.
Well, that's still true. And I do tend to know things going on out here. So, there's some merit to what I'm saying.
Being a social alter, I mean, it's fun, you know? Of course. Katie has social anxiety, so she's not that social. She doesn't like to be social. But I am very social.
I am very social. What was that? Well, I am very social. And I like being social. Eli is somewhat social, like, he struggles with it too, but not in the same way that Katie did. It's not like a social anxiety thing, it's his OCD, and for me, it's just like, I don't deal with that either, so I'm able to socialize without feeling a lot of guilt over every little thing.
I don't give a fuck most of the time. I know Jake said he was the only one who was straightforward or whatever. Yeah, that's bullshit, because I'm pretty straightforward too. Honestly, I've been called a bitch several times just because I was being completely blunt.
You were being a bitch.
Anyway, but yeah, being a social alter, I get to come out for, like, social events, or just really anytime I want to. I'm out a lot of the time. Because a lot of the time we're around people that Katie doesn't feel like talking to or whatever.
I front a lot less often now, partly because I've been going through some stuff of my own over the past, well, since Katie split, really. But also there's a lot of other social alters now, other than just me, so that burden isn't, like, fully on me. So I really have been using that to my advantage and just, like, not fronting, not really doing anything, taking that time to heal from, I guess, my own grieving of Katie.
I'm also on the leadership team. Nobody's really explained the leadership team yet. Jake mentioned it, and then I thought he was going to explain it, and instead he went on a rant about our old therapist. Typical Jake. Typical. He's my best friend, so I can say whatever I want. Anyway.
Oh, he is, so I can. But that doesn't explain why I was being so mean to Glitch or Ryland.
The leadership team is something created by our old therapist, who Jake has already talked about, so I don't need to say anything. She wanted, basically it was her way of saying these alters have really important jobs. So all the important ones are on the leadership team. The rest of them, you know, they can integrate. We hope they integrate, like, right now. We want them gone. And the leadership team is basically the ones that she considered important or valuable.
Yeah, that's exactly why she created the leadership team. She was a bitch more than I was. And, yeah, that's a light word for it. And we, kind of redesigned that. So there is still a leadership team, but now it's just like people, it's not who's the most important. It's people who feel like being leaders in their part of the inner world, and they come together in the home space sometimes for meetings so that all parts of the inner world are heard, and they're a representative essentially for their part of the inner world, so that, because we can't come together with all, however many of us, to make a decision. So we have these representatives come together and make decisions on behalf of what we know that everybody feels in our area. That's what the leadership team is now.
Now I'm supposed to talk about flashbacks. If you don't know what flashbacks are, Glitch explained it in her video.
Flashbacks are a traumatic reliving of a memory in a way, but it is different for everybody who experiences them, even within our system. Sometimes it's a body feeling that is not associated with any mental image. Sometimes it's the sounds, the smells, the feels, the sights, everything all encompassing of what happened then. Sometimes it's just the emotions, and that's probably the most common type of flashback for us. So it can be hard to identify when you're having a flashback, because you're either so in it that you think it's happening right now, or you don't even realize that you're reacting to the past in the present.
Experience with flashbacks. I get them. I don't get them super frequently. They're kind of occasional for me. And I don't mean to downplay them, because they are really awful when they happen. I just don't want to get dark. Like, oh god, it's so awful, and I want to die whenever they happen, and blah 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 blah.
I don't have a lot of, like, all-encompassing flashbacks. Never did. And now I pretty much don't at all. But I do have emotional flashbacks from time to time, and those can be really hard to identify, and they can be really difficult and just not fun at all.
So yeah, I get them. They suck, needless to say. And then they're over, and usually they don't come again for a long time, so that's good. I'm lucky, because I don't have too bad of flashbacks. I'm tall, thin, I have brown hair that kind of swoops over, like, not Donald Trump god, no.
I would hope nobody assumed that you meant that. I still look the same inside, pretty much.
I'm not describing my hair well. Okay, I have hair that... I wish I could just use a picture to show you. I'm gonna have to draw myself and show you the next time, because I don't want you guys getting the wrong idea about my hair. If that statement is not the basic summary of who I am.
Yeah, I am definitely gonna have Rylan put something in here to show you what my hair looks like, because I really don't want you getting the wrong idea about it still.
Things that I like music, I like to sing. I'm a really good singer on the inside. On the outside, I'm a pretty decent singer. I mean, it's a little weird, you know, having a woman's body. It even feels weird saying that. Pretty sarcastic generally, so I think I just like being a little bitch about things and like getting people's reaction, you know?
Clearly.
When they say something that there's really no need to be a smartass about, but there's an opportunity, 10 out of 10 times I take it. So, doesn't matter what kind of situation we're in. It doesn't matter how serious it may be.
Okay, I've definitely grown up since this video because I can be serious now if I need to. So, that's good.
I think I described myself well enough. I don't really have anything else to say.
So that was fun. I do want to mention a few other things about me. I mentioned in that video that I had integrated or fused and then came back. What actually happened was that I went dormant and then came back, and I didn't realize at the time that there was a difference between dormancy and fusion and integration. So that's that. But I am a father. I have 3 kids, Rowan, Hugo, and Splash. I'm also dating Jude, and I'm also dating Hong. Jude neglected to mention that we were dating or that we have 2 kids together in his video, so rude. And he's dating Hong too. I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. It's been very interesting rewatching my old video and hearing how high and nasally my voice used to be. And how much of a bitch I used to be. I thought I was a bitch now. Wow, I used to be worse. Anyway, thanks for watching. Comment anything you want to comment. Bye.